Okay, so Acts chapter 2, verse 39. Okay. For the promise is unto you and to your children and to all that are afar off, even as many as the Lord our God shall call. So, for the promise is unto you and to your children and to all that are afar off, even as many as the Lord our God shall call. Right? So it's everybody, anyone who wants to believe that Jesus did all the work. It's that easy. It's that simple. In verse 40, and with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, save yourselves from this untoward generation. He's like, basically, just come out of the world. You know, stop believing in all this other works-based, salvation. This is believe only by faith. By grace through faith you're saved through what Jesus did, not anything that we do. And then verse 41, then they that gladly received his word were baptized, and the same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls. Right? So it says, then they that gladly received his word, they say, yeah, gladly, they believe, right? They believed it. That same day, just like 3,000 people were baptized and became believers, and they became sons and daughters of God. And then verse 42, and they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, and in breaking of bread and in prayers. So they believe this. This is what do we do? And he's showing them everything they need to do with the doctrine, and he's explaining all what happened with Jesus, all the works that Jesus did for their salvation. In verse 43, and fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. All right. So now they're doing signs and wonders, and fear came. It's like, no, this is real. This is real. And so fear came upon everybody, right? And now they're doing more signs and wonders. And then verse 44, and all that believed were together and had all things in common. Right? So he's making it clear. These are the believers, right? All that believed were together. And then verse 45. And sold their possessions and goods and parted them to all men as every man had need. Right? So they're all looking out for each other. They say, no, this is real. Fear came upon them like this. This is it. This is what we got to do. And then verse 46. And they, continuing daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart. See, that's what it's all about. To come together in the believers. All that believes. And then verse 47, praising God and having favor with all people. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. Right? Favor with all people. And the Lord added to the church. And who did he add to the church? Daily such as should be saved. So that's the misunderstanding of the churches these days. The church is not everyone welcome, come on in, and you got all these different kinds of gods and different kind of philosophies coming in the church. No. The church once you're saved, you go to the church. This church is for believers. It's not all are welcome and just a free-for-all chaos. No. It says it right here. Right? And the Lord added to the church. The Lord added to the church such as should be saved. So you get saved first, then now you come join the church as the congregation of believers. That's how it works. That's why you get a lot of chaos and knuckleheadism in the churches, because they just let everybody come in. They want to try to do evangelism inside the church or the congregation. No, you do the evangelism outside. When you get saved, now you come to the congregation of believers. That's the order of God. Laurel, New York. Prepare for the Antichrist, not the rapture. The Antichrist must come first. You're not going to escape tribulation with the rapture, because the rapture is not until after the tribulation. People better wake up. Get a King James Bible. Read it cover to cover. Get it in there. Wake up, people. New York. Salvation's believe only in all the work that Jesus did. You're not saved by your own works of righteousness, which is filthy rags. You're not going to make it. You got to believe with all your heart what Jesus did. It's that simple. Better get it straight.